Postnups and wedding ring requests.
On this episode of Simply Necessary Conversations.
Trending topic today. I was scouring through the internet and I saw this article that was based on a Reddit post. And basically, this wife asked for a postnup, not a prenup, a postnup, because after she was married, apparently her husband had this ex-girlfriend from high school. The ex-girlfriend had a child, never told the husband until the child was 13 and wanted to have a relationship with his or her father. And the wife was of the mind that, hey, I make more money. I don't know how this is going to affect us financially, blah, 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 blah. So do you think she was wrong for asking for a postnup, or do you think she was right because now there's this whole child that no one knew existed until now?
I don't want to say right or wrong because this situation, there's a whole lot of moving parts. It depends on her relationship with her husband. How long have they been married? Do you know?
I don't remember.
Okay, because if this is a fair, okay, all right, because I'm a woman and I'm an older woman, so it depends on how long they have been married. That factors in, because if they are, let's just say that this mother of the child showed up right after they got married. Say they've only been married a year, a couple months, whatever. And it's been stated, among the facts that we know is that the woman makes the most money. Baby mama might have peeped that and be like, oh, he married a woman with money. Let's go get some. So that would be relevant. If they've been married for, several years and it's genuinely the child saying, I want to know my father, I want to be in his life, I want him in my life, and the baby mama is not just being a shady individual, then that is relative. So there's a lot of moving parts. But I will say she has every right as a woman who thought that she was marrying a childless man to say, now that the child is in the picture, it's not my child, I want certain things put in place. Because if they're newly married and she doesn't have kids of her own yet, she may want to protect her assets because, all of these bleeding heart people are going to say, oh, but a child is a child and da-da-da-da. Let's be real. If you are making strides and being successful and saving up for your future children, you do not want that necessarily to be interfered with by somebody else and their child. Now, if her husband is a good man, she's in love with him, it's completely innocent, he didn't know, she didn't know, and they can work it out or get some kind of understanding, maybe it's not necessary. But the fact that she's asking for it kind of makes you... I think
whether it's legal or not, I would just want to be said on record of being like, I'm not responsible for this.
Let's get an understanding. Yeah.
I'm not responsible for this.
The fact that she's asking for it to be done in a legal manner either says, A, she doesn't necessarily trust that her husband is going to handle it the right way, or B, she knows that baby mama, she can maybe get some vibes from baby mama that she needs to protect herself. I think from the article,
he wasn't necessarily in favor of it. So I feel like this whole situation is just going to cause problems in their relationship if he's not in favor of it.
It is.
But I think at the same time that she doesn't necessarily have to do it legally, I think if he's not doing anything shady, then he could just do it legally.
Well, let me just say, as an older woman, if she doesn't do anything legally, there's nothing done. Because he can say whatever.
But what I'm saying is if he's not doing anything, if he's planning on doing it the right way, whatever that looks like for them, then he shouldn't have a problem with the postnup because, you were going to do this anyway. Yeah. I think maybe his issue is the fact that she felt the need to ask for it versus it needing to be stated of however things were going to go.
I want to believe in love. I want to believe in trusting people and husband, wife, whatever. But as somebody that was married for 29 years and the person went left when I thought they would have went right, I'm going to say, baby, get your papers in order. Get your papers in order, because he can right now be saying, okay, I'm going to handle this. You can trust me. It's never going to be a problem for you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And 5 minutes down the road, he can change his mind. And if she does not have something in place legally, then
and two, I feel like
could be
past
a problem
him
for her.
And what he's going to do, I feel like at a certain point, the child could, or the mother of the child could be like, hey, I want so and so amount of money based on y'all's joint household income or whatever. Exactly. And then that could cause her problems.
And I don't think she should be judged if she does want to get something in place legally, because she entered into a marriage based on one situation. And then the situation changed.
Because first of all, past the money would be the last of my concern, honestly. Past the money, you have a whole child that we didn't know anything about. Like that would throw me for a loop in a relationship.
I will go out on a limb and say the child being older makes it a little bit easier in some ways.
Still, I feel
because
like
she's not gonna ever need to babysit. She's never gonna need.
But
to
on the principle of
she
thought she was gonna be the first person to have his kid, and now there's a whole nother kid,
That's true.
and
That's
that
true.
can't happen anymore.
I wouldn't. People are gonna come from my neck. I wouldn't fault her for wanting to get it legally, documented how things are going to go in the future. I wouldn't fault her if she decided I don't want to be married anymore, because if you marry somebody thinking I'm marrying somebody that doesn't have children, and then you find out that now
if he cheated, then that would be reason not to be married anymore.
No. We're talking about a child. We're not talking about a cat, a dog, a fish, a bird, a pet. We're talking about a child. But I feel like
that means that her love for him would be conditional.
And maybe it was. Maybe it was conditional on the
But I don't think your love for somebody that you're married to should be conditional in that type of way.
Maybe it shouldn't be. Maybe it shouldn't be. But I will say, if you think you're doing one thing, like you go into a situation planning for it to be a certain way, and then it turns out it's not that way. Now, I'm not saying she should, you got a child, I'm out. Like, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it depends on how he handles the situation. If he's the type of man to say to baby mama, okay, that's my child, and I want to be involved with my child. I want to know my child. I want to support my child. Now, he doesn't automatically do that. Then she needs to bounce, because then he's less than a man. He needs to want to have a relationship with his child. He needs to want to support his child. If he doesn't want to do that with that child, then that's kind of indicative of what he may be as a father. So I'm not saying he shouldn't want to do all the things. He should want to do all the things. My thing is, how does he handle putting that in motion? How does he talk to her, plan with her, make a situation so that child feels loved and welcomed into his life, but also so that wife is not A, inconvenienced, and B, not made to feel like you must do these things because she didn't sign up for that. No, I don't think
the wife, especially since the child is older, and now there would be a difference if he found out he had a child and the child's mother was dead, and then you may feel some obligation to step into mother role or whatever.
Whether the mother's dead or not, what if child decides, I want to move in with you, Dad? Now he's moving in with her too. Like, that could happen.
This is too complicated.
And that's the thing. There's so many different moving parts. There's so many different things to consider.
I don't think you should divorce somebody if they found out they had a child that they didn't know about.
I don't think so either.
I think that would be kind of cruel.
As long as they don't change. Like, as long as he is like, okay, we entered into a relationship.
To a certain extent, things will change.
They will. But how does he handle the change? How does he handle the change?
Yeah, I guess.
Like, so it's a very sticky situation. It's a case-by-case situation. If you got a man that is a real man that handles this thing, gets baby mama straight and says, okay, didn't know about my child, but now that I know about my child, I want to be in his life. I want to be involved with him. I want to do all the things.
However, assuming the child's a boy, it might not be a boy.
Or her thing or whatever. But, and however, you will not interfere with my relationship with my wife, because like there are certain circumstances. There are some men that because she's the mother of his child would start moving different, might be wanting to allow her some benefits and things. I saw one thing
on TikTok where this girl was saying how she'll never date a man that has children already because she feels like the mother of your child needs to take priority over everything else and everyone else.
I don't know about that.
And I was
like, a baby from somebody
that doesn't necessarily mean that. Like, yeah, if y'all
she needs to be respected.
If y'all are in a relationship, then mother of your child should matter above anything else. But if you're not in a relationship with that person, if they're not in a relationship,
mother of the child needs to be respected. And
the child
and there needs to be a line of communication so that you're doing the best thing for the child. But mother of the child don't run nothing at that man's house with his wife.
Yeah, she was almost talking like, oh, like if she calls, you gotta come. And no. And she was like, if she needs to eat, you gotta get her food. That's not her responsibility.
That's a generous person. That's a kind-hearted person. That's not how I'm gonna move.
No.
Respect her. Try to cooperate with her. Try to parent with her the best way you can. I will be supportive, but I'm not playing a primary role in that situation other than if the child is in my household visiting with me, then I'm going to try to make the child feel welcome, whatever. people tend to assume as females that as soon as somebody says baby or child, we're just gonna fold.
No.
Oh, it's just a baby. No, because I didn't sign up for that. I didn't sign up for that. Like I said, however, if the man doesn't step up, what that man really needs to do is he needs to now start making sure all other areas of the marriage don't have any issues. Like, let me make sure she has no reason to be upset with this situation. Let me make sure bills are paid. Let me make sure whatever it is I'm supposed to do around the house is done, so that my wife feels like I'm taking care of her, so she will join me in taking care of my child. So, like,
and
he needs to step up.
feel like it's, y'all might come for me for this, but like, what's new? I feel like it's bad on women's part to not inform men when they have a whole child out in the universe.
That part right there.
I feel like that's very stupid, because
that part right there,
you're robbing the child of a chance to try to reach out to their father, and you're also,
in some of those women's cases, they don't know who the father is.
Figure it out.
Sometimes they don't. You shouldn't. Now that to me is very low class. At the point that you're not sure, hopefully there's not a lot of candidates.
Like, you figure it out.
You eliminate whoever the extra people are, and you find that child's father. I think that's low class to not know who it is and not take steps to find out who it is. There's not a reason
to not know who your baby daddy is.
And I know crazy. People are gonna get upset. Well, I didn't know who mine was. Low class. Talk to your mama with that.
I feel like you should be online.
You need to find out. Yeah, you need to. If there shouldn't be a lot of candidates. Find out who the father is and minimally inform him. If he doesn't want to participate and you're okay without him participating.
No shade, but you should be like, it should be one of somebody that you are able to access again and figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, and there are those people, you see it in the movies where they went on a honeymoon, had a one night stand, and then end up with a baby. They don't know how to find the father.
Wait, hold on.
No, I'm sorry, vacation. Said the wrong word. Wrong word. Clearly wrong.
What?
Went on a vacation, hooked up with somebody. Never could be me, but people do that kind of stuff. Went on vacation, hooked up with somebody, ended up pregnant. The person didn't know.
There's extenuating circumstances.
So things like that happen. But even with that, you do your darndest to go and find that person and inform them that they are a parent or that, they're a father, because the mother's always going to know.
Yeah.
You do your darndest to find that person, let them know that they're a father.
Because it's not fair to just it's like the Upshaws. Like, you shouldn't be knocking on somebody's door like, surprise.
Yeah, the child wants to have a relationship with their father. That's probably always been the case.
Yeah, like, why did you wait?
You shouldn't have waited until the child was a teenager to even have that happen.
And if you had access to the father, like, you knew the name, you knew how to access them, whatever, you could see when they got, like, at the point that you see they're engaged, you should be like, wait a minute. Yeah,
and that's why I say, because I've heard of situations where there was a baby mama, had a child, wasn't bothering the father, didn't want nothing to do with the father. Soon as that man got married, here she comes showing up. Because it looked like he was too happy. It looked like wifey who had children with the father. Oh, he does this and that for that child, so he gonna do it for mine too. Like, that's classless. If you got a baby with somebody, it's your place to inform them, and then it's your
also,
two places to work it out.
This is on top of off topic. I think it's important for women to put pride aside when it comes to, I'm not gonna put that man on child support. I don't need anything from him. What about the kid?
Because even if you don't need it, then get the child support, put it aside for the child. Like, you're robbing them.
That whole concept of I can do it by myself. I'm the bat. Like, just get it for the kid.
No, but I feel like in situations where you're in a relationship with somebody with children, you need to discuss it up front, and you need to know what you are and aren't going to do, and then shouldn't be any switching up. If the father starts out saying, okay, I'm going to do this, that, and the other thing, and I'm going to make sure this is handled, then he needs to make sure it's handled. Handle it and make sure that it doesn't cause the wife or the marriage any kind of issues. And the wife, if you enter the relationship with somebody with a child, saying, okay, I'm going to be fine with, I'm going to do this, then that's what you need to do.
And obviously all of this is situational. This depends on how old you are, your financial situation. All kinds of circumstances. The experiences you've had before. Like, in my 20s, you can't have a kid. Yeah, so. But, at your age, you could meet somebody and they have kids, and you have to deal with that. Yeah,
you have to deal with it. So, like, I think communication is key. The child should be the priority. But communication is key, and don't wait till the child is a teenager. That's just crazy.
Yeah, that's a little absurd. But things that are on a more romantic side of things.
Yeah, let's be positive for a minute.
Way more positive. Let me put y'all on is this group that I discovered, and I'm not gonna play their songs. I don't want to get copyrighted. And like it's a whole thing. But Infinity Song, I feel like a lot of people don't know about them. They blew up on TikTok a while ago in 2020, I believe. Yeah, 2020, I think, because they had the Haters Anthem, and the whole song was like, I love the way it feels to be a hater. Something so sweet about thinking that you're better. But the whole thing was like mocking, you're so focused on being a hater that your life is crumbling and like you're worried about these other people and you don't have anything going on. But a lot of their songs, they just released a new project, they added songs to a project that had already been released. But a lot of their songs are super, super duper romantic. Like I typed some of them out. Just Loving Me, No One Comes Close. Like they're a soft rock band. Mm-hmm. So all of their songs are very melodic and chill.
And what's the name of the group?
Infinity Song. They're all siblings, by the way.
Okay.
They're apparently close family. I learned all of this on Wikipedia. They're close family friends with John Baptiste. I forget how to say his last name. And they're signed to Roc Nation after performing for Jay-Z. So they have a lot of, and they also worked with Kanye West on his gospel album and wrote a lot of songs for him. So they're up and coming, and y'all can go check them out. And they're very positive. I've been trying to listen to more positive music, like them, Cleo Soul, people like that, instead of listening to sad songs
and ratchet music.
I still listen to ratchet music, but I like listening to positive music, especially if I want to be in a positive vibe. And after that topic, we need a little bit of positivity, and we need a little love and romance that's not complicated, and that's exactly what their songs exude. But speaking of love and romance, what had happened was this concept that I keep seeing people talk about. I hear it all the time. I hear it when I clock in: work wife, work husband. What is a work wife? What is a work husband? Is that appropriate? Is there a line? Should we be having them? Like, what's going on with work wife, work husband culture?
Okay, so my understanding of, because I don't know the Urban Dictionary definition of it, but my understanding is a work wife or a work husband. We'll just say work spouse to keep it simple. Yeah. So a work spouse is that person at work that kind of acts in a spousal capacity without the romance, without the physical contact, whatever. So just kind of the person that keeps you straight, kind of the person that if you are fumbling at work or whatever, kind of steps in and kind of gives you advice. Almost like a very good friendship with an opposite sex person, or at least a non-romantic platonic relationship that would be similar to the relationship you would have with a boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife, but not. I don't like the concept of that. I understand it because there have been, I've more so had work aunties, work cousins, where I would put it in that category, where if you work in a group, like when with my previous job, we worked kind of in a group capacity. There were certain people that could communicate things to others in the group better than others. So it would be like, hey, he'll take it better if it comes from you. You go tell him, because y'all are a little bit closer. Those kinds of relationships. I'm cool with that. I'm not cool with the work spouse concept, because if you're being a spouse to someone else's significant other, you're crossing lines. Like you're out of line.
Me personally, I can't say what I really want to say.
Please
no. No, I'm not gonna have no work husband, because number one, when I go to work, I'm not going to work to kiki. I'm not going to work to make best friends. I'm going to work and make money and to do what I do at work. I'm not going to work to be like, oh, my work husband, my work man. And there's been like whole skits and stuff on TikTok where it's like, oh, the person that you share lunch with, the person that you always take your breaks with. Now,
see, I think
they talk about their relationship problems together.
I think that's crossing the line.
He tripping at home.
No, that
I would never do that to you.
Problems.
No.
Yeah. Now, and then too, it depends on the situation. If you work in an environment where your work is kind of solitary, it's easy to avoid those situations. But if you work in a situation where there's a lot of collaboration, when there's a lot of teamwork, you can still have boundaries. You can still have boundaries, but I'm saying you're more likely to develop a little bit closer relationship. So it depends on what your working situation is. This was a topic on a talk show a couple of days ago. This is an example of where it crosses the line. So the example that they gave, the husband was at a work function that included spouses, so his wife was there. The work wife comes over and makes a comment to the either the wife or the husband, but it caused the wife to say, well, who are you? And she foolishly said, oh, I'm his work wife. Now, first of all, your first introduction to the real wife should never be, I'm the work wife. That might get you hit in the face. Like that might get that's not how you keep your teeth in your mouth. So that should not have been her first introduction. But this idiot, and I'm going to call her idiot because I think she was an idiot, went on to critique the real wife about the kind of lunches that she was packing for her husband and joke that maybe she should make his lunch. Now, how she made it out of the building alive is beyond me. I don't know. But that's an example of a negative example of somebody that was stupid and that took it too far. And then this is the part that would have led me to the divorce court. The husband got upset with the wife and said that she was overreacting. We done, bro. We done. Because no female, other than our child that we made together, and in certain situations, your mama, no female's feelings should ever supersede mine. We done, bro.
First of all, whole party would have been over.
Yeah. Tables, furniture moving. I'm telling you, furniture moving.
As soon as she said work, what? Whole party shut down.
Furniture moving.
It would have been like a teenage party in somebody's house that wasn't supposed to be in the house, and somebody called the police.
Yes.
Whole party over.
Yeah.
Because what do you mean? So, and then I would have just took it too far because I'm like, oh, you the work wife? Well, you can go home to the work wife and stay with the work wife and live with the work wife. The work wife can carry out everything that I do as your wife.
She went overboard. That was a case where she lucky it wasn't slow singing and flower bringing. Because how dare you? But that tells you that she was an airheaded heifer.
I don't necessarily think that was airheadedness. I think she tried it. I think she was trying to clock her tea.
She may have very well been trying to expedite.
I think
the divorce.
She was like, oh well, she can't do nothing to me, so I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. And then for the fact that the husband defended the quote unquote work wife means that you must like her better than me. So
now, see,
go
that's
be
one
with
of
her.
those times when I may have broken my rule that if I have a significant other and I find out that he's messing around with somebody else, I'm not going for them. I'm going for him because they didn't make any promises to me. I might have broke that rule in that situation because she stepped to me. I would have considered that you stepping to me. Like, who you talking to? Who are you talking to?
Everybody is getting cussed out.
Like, yeah. Like, I that's one of them where I would have forced her to cause me to defend myself. If you know what I mean? I'd have made her make me defend myself. Cause we finna move some furniture. Cause like now,
I think the audacity of I don't like me personally. I don't like when any woman thinks they can approach somebody's man or approach them in a way that is like indicative of he with you, but he could be with me.
Yes.
I don't like that.
Yes.
Don't ever make me feel stupid.
And then
don't
he defended her. That said all that it needed to be said.
And I feel like not to say that he should be hiding anything that he's doing at work, but I feel like if he knows he can be kicking with her and he saw the approach happening, he should have cut that off.
What he should have done when she approached was,
this is my beautiful, loving wife, amazing woman that I love so much.
Because you can be. Maybe some people can't, but I can. You can be friends with a male classmate, coworker, whatever. You can be friends with them. But there are certain things there are certain lines that should be drawn, and there's certain things that you shouldn't do. And you as the work friend, because I'm not gonna say work, right? You as a work friend, when his wife comes, what you're supposed to do is disabuse her of any concept that there's anything other than friendship.
You're supposed to be like, what's up, bro?
Like,
homie?
He talks about you all the time. It's nice to meet you. He's had nothing but lovely things to say about you. Like, you should never try to insinuate that you have a closer relationship with somebody's husband. I feel like
as a woman, you know when someone that's in a relationship still finds you attractive to a certain extent. Like,
and that's not your fault. That ain't your business.
But there's a way that you go about handling
it.
Anytime I've ever been in that situation, I'm like, oh, how is she doing? How are y'all doing as a couple together in unison? Because I don't want you, and I don't want her thinking that I want you.
The only thing a male coworker can do for me is introduce me to his friends. Okay? Like, yeah, we could be friends because I'm an adult, you're an adult, and especially if I have any kind of respect for you and feel like you're a nice person or whatever, you got positive qualities, well, hopefully you will move in a circle that has similar qualities so you can introduce me to one of your friends.
I feel like as somebody with morals and values, you should never entertain a conversation. Like, I personally don't like I keep saying personally way too much,
Yeah.
but I don't like when someone is bashing their significant other to me. I will shut that down real fast.
You need to talk. Depending on our relationship, you need to talk to him.
No,
or her
I'm not even
that.
entertaining the conversation.
To go talk to them about that.
You don't like. Why are you telling me? I don't want to know.
Well, it depends because, like, you know, sometimes because I had a friend. Hey, Brittany, I had a friend that was my at work counselor. She was my lawyer.
No, that's different. We're not talking about women kikiing together. We're talking about a man is coming to me complaining about his wife.
No. You need to talk to her.
Like,
you need to talk to her.
No, I don't condone. I do not like when men complain about their wives.
I've never had. In all of my situations, my male coworkers or whatever talk about their significant others in a positive way. You know, they joke about and they talk about whatever. So, like, I've never had a male person degrade or complain about a spouse.
And if they do, I'm going to check it.
And if they did, if they did, I would. Y'all need to work that out. Like, I would encourage. But no, you don't. Yeah, the work wife, the work husband concept. I get it. There's always going to be somebody at work that has your back in a certain kind of way, and that's fine. The person that is going to cover for you if you slip, that's fine. But don't refer to them as your work wife or your work husband, because that's kind of
as offensive. Soon as I get a whiff, now I want to bring you lunch at your job.
Yeah,
I want to
having lunch with them, like, especially if you're leaving work premises, going and having lunch with them.
Oh no!
Or they're bringing you food, or you're bringing them food. All of that crosses lines. All of that crosses lines.
Leaving and got in your car.
I worked at a place one time.
In my seat?
I worked at a place one time and they were very blatant about it. I'm not going to say where it was and what job it was, because I've had many jobs, so y'all ain't going to know which one. But, like, the people were very disrespectful. Because I, coming in as a newbie, thought they were a couple. And then somebody was like, oh, no, that's not her husband. I'm like, excuse me, what there? What you had said? Like, what do you mean?
Let's move on. This conversation is aggravating.
Yeah. But yeah, respect your spouse. Gentlemen, never let your significant other feel like somebody comes before them. I keep saying I saw it on TikTok, but I see everything on TikTok. I saw somebody saying you should never make your girlfriend or your wife feel like they are embarrassed by something that you entertained. Even as someone that is divorced, let's suspend reality for a minute. Even as someone that's divorced, if we were on good terms, but if my ex were to come somewhere where I was and try to be familiar with me in a certain kind of way, even though I don't do his significant other, you that other woman husband now, you can go back over there with
Well, I wouldn't do that out of loyalty for her, because don't care about her at all.
It ain't out of loyalty. It's just that do unto others as you would have them do unto you. You are no longer my husband. You now her husband. Go over there where your wife at.
That depends. I'm not saying entertain, flirtation, whatever, because you don't want him. We all know this.
No.
But it depends on how did she become your wife.
That's what my point is. I don't care how she became his wife. She his wife now.
No, but I'm out. But you get what I'm saying. Like, how did you do unto others?
I get it. But see, class, you're her husband now. Go be.
Yeah, but I think I would make it a little bit obvious that you over here trying to talk to me, but go husband. Be with
Well, you know, sometimes you just screenshot stuff and keep it to yourself. Go be with her.
I think I have to make it a scene.
No, I'm not. I think I have to make it something like that.
Not a scene like that, but I make it obvious that he was over here talking to me, but I sent him over there.
Yeah, no, go over there.
And that's only because of karma.
Well, that's the thing. Karma does not lose an address. You ain't got to do nothing.
But
baby.
What I'm saying is, I just want the viewers to be clear on. I'm not saying that you should do that if he never, like, if you and the new wife were never crossing paths, then you shouldn't do that. But if the new wife, crossed paths during a time when you were the wife, maybe make it known that he still want the first wife. That's all I'm saying. Well, anyway,
I under no circumstances would entertain an ex of any kind.
No, I don't mean.
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying, I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, even if somebody did me dirty, because karma doesn't lose an address, and because I got more class than that, let's use a fictitious situation. I'm dating somebody. They end up cheating on me with somebody. They end up married to that person. Them and that person get married. And now them and that person ain't good anymore, but they're still married. And then that person wants to come and either try to get back with me, confide in me, or just be in my presence in any kind of way that I feel like is inappropriate, unlike that person, I'm going to send them back over there.
I'm not saying don't send them back. I'm just saying that let it be known that they were sent back. That's all I'm saying.
No. It feels a little bit better just keeping it right here.
It would feel good to me to let them know they were sent back. But anyway.
Just keeping it right here sometimes is the best thing to do because karma doesn't lose an address.
Anywho's, Ask a Gemini. Mm-hmm. So speaking of, right and wrong situations while we're keeping the marriage wedding thing going on.
Yeah.
So fiance dies right before the wedding.
That's sad.
Well, I didn't mean for it to be sad.
You just stated that in such a matter-of-fact way, but okay.
Fiance dead right before the wedding.
Okay.
The ring is a family heirloom.
Okay.
The mother of the dead fiance wants the ring back. The groom dies. Groom dies right before wedding.
Because they didn't actually get married.
Groom dies right before wedding. Mm-hmm. Family heirloom was the ring. Mother wants the ring back because it's her family heirloom. Is the bride or the person that was supposed to be the bride
to be
obligated to give the ring back, or can she keep it as almost like a memory of her dead almost spouse?
That's one of those impossible questions to answer. She's not going to be married to the groom because he's passed away. And especially if it's a family heirloom. Well, I'm going to say this. If it's a family heirloom and she's not going to be married to the groom, I say yes, she should give it back. If it were a situation where he had just given her any old ring or given her a ring of any kind that didn't have anything to do with the family or whatever, and he died, that's her ring. That's hers to keep. But if she knows, and especially if she knew in advance, now she might not have known, but especially
I feel like
if she knew
you
in
can
advance,
probably tell by what the ring looks like. Or
I'm sure he would have shared that with her or her future
this
mother-in-law.
This is my great grandmother's ring.
I feel like minimally she should offer it back, especially if the parents of the groom or the guardians of the groom fully expected that these two people would be married, eventually have kids, and keep the ring in the family. Like if it was that kind of situation, I think she should offer it back. And if they ask for it back, I would probably give it back. But that's the only time I think she should give the ring back.
I think it's kind of sleazy to ask for it back.
Not if it's a family heirloom.
But the groom is dead.
Right.
She was going to be a part of the family. Y'all were okay with her being a part of the family, apparently. Yeah.
But think about what you're saying. She was going to be. See, I don't even have to wonder if I'm right. I'm going to decide I'm right for myself. Because if it's a family heirloom, they had welcomed her in, they loved her, she was going to be a part of the family.
Okay.
The groom dies, they never get married. Unless she's planning to never marry again. Unless she's planning to never marry again, I think she should give those people their family heirloom back. Because when she gets, think about this. Let's play this out further. If she meets someone else, gets engaged, there's gonna be a new ring. Not gonna be the same. There's gonna be a new ring. She's gonna have a new husband. New husband is not gonna necessarily want her.
I think in that case, if the man died. Mm-hmm. And she has a new husband, I don't think the new husband is going to be like, why do you say, like, he died.
He might be understanding in that way, but you now have a ring from your new husband. The ring, while it might have had sentimental value to you, it has more sentimental value and more history with that family. I say give those people their family heirloom back.
If I was the family, I wouldn't ask for it back.
Even if they didn't ask for it back, I think she should offer it back to them.
I don't think if my fiance died, I would be thinking about, let me get this ring back to them.
Not in the moment, but as some time passed and you start to like regain your singleness and I
don't know. I feel like
I would offer it back.
I feel like if the person that you love died, you would want everything that they've ever given you.
But then that would cause you to have to be in a standstill and never move on. I understand that there should be a grieving process and there should be some time.
I think if you really love somebody, then to a certain extent, you're gonna always be at a standstill. You could maybe love somebody else, but if you are about to get married and then your fiance dies,
that's young love talking. I'm living. This is half of 100 old people talking.
Maybe because I actually love my boyfriend. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, that's young. I just said that's young love talking. That's those people's family heirloom. That's a part of their history, their heritage. Give that ring back because you are probably going to meet somebody else. You're going to get another ring. The ring can't possibly mean as much to you as them. Maybe you think so in the moment. I think offer it back, or if they ask for it back, give it back to them. If it's just a ring, y'all went to wherever, Jerry's or whoever, one of these places.
And it would depend too. Do they even have another son that would be able to give the ring to somebody else? Even if they don't,
it could be given to someone else in the family to use as their engagement
I don't know.
ring.
I feel like it's kind of wrong to ask for it back when maybe
they shouldn't ask for it back, but I feel like if they did give it to them, and if you're thinking straight and you've kind of gone through the grief process,
I don't know, because what if she wants to like make it a necklace and always have it with her because he was her love and he died?
It depends. Now, if they dated for years and years, I mean, there's, again, just like a lot of the other topics we've discussed today, there's a lot of moving parts. What if this is a one-of-a-kind heirloom that has been in their family for 100 years, or this is the ring that came over on the Mayflower with somebody? Like, I mean, there's all kinds of reasons.
Then they shouldn't have gave it to him if they didn't want somebody outside to have it.
If they loved her and thought that she was going to be a part of the family.
So their love for her died because he did? Is that what you're saying?
No, but she now has a different relationship to them. Now she is a very beloved family friend. She is not a family member. She's going to want to have her own
I feel like certain families, I mean, this has been exhibited in our own families, they still are going to consider her to be family, even if he dead. Like,
yeah, but they're still considered family. But in those circumstances, if she's still considered family, but the person that she was dating now has a new wife, she has to respect the position of the new wife or the new person that's in their life. Okay. She can still be family. She can still come to the cookout. She can still come around. And we have that a lot. You still auntie so-and-so, or you still my cousin, regardless of whatever. But if that groom or that person has a new person,
but the groom is in this situation.
The groom is dead. So even more so, you're still welcome. Bring your new person, but give the family that ring back so that they can keep it. If that's been the family tradition. If that's been the family tradition,
like it depends on. You don't want to break
the family tradition. If you truly,
I feel like if my man is dead, the family tradition.
That's because this young love talking child. Well, give them people to give it back.
My intentions, but I wouldn't want a family heirloom ring anyway because I want my own ring.
I personally saying that I wouldn't want the pressure. Because
then what if I lose it? What if I'm clumsy? What if I drop it and lose it?
I would feel special that you offered that to me.
But okay, and the other thing is, what if the ring is ugly? Because I want a specific looking type of ring.
Let's flip this for a minute. Family heirloom. He proposes with that ugly ring. Are you obligated to then wear it and let that be your ring, even though you hate it?
No, I'll pull him aside and be like, really?
Okay, so if you can do that, give them people their ring back.
I disagree.
See, who raised you? Because give them people their ring back.
I want my
You don't want
ring.
to wear the ugly ring, but you want to keep the ring. No, give.
If it's a pretty ring and my man gave it to me, I want to keep it.
No.
Anyway,
it works those ways. If you don't have to wear it, if it's ugly, you need to give it back. If
they really wanted it back, I'd be like, fine.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't want to give it back.
Don't worry, future husband and husband family. If something like that happened, I'll make her give it back to y'all. Anyway, go ahead.
My man not finna die. Hold on.
I'm just saying, if that were the case, yeah, I would have a strong conversation with you. No, give it back.
Gemini Jen. Would you like to go first?
Sure. Okay, so on the subject of weddings, May, June, July, people have summertime weddings. So one of the things that people don't consider when you're planning the wedding, you're doing all the things and buying all the things, a lot of times you have centerpieces on the table for the reception or, different floral decorations for the wedding. Keep in mind that since you're having to spend the money anyway, and you want to make people that are coming to the wedding, guests and family members feel special, consider having all of your florals be portable in a certain kind of way, or reusable or recyclable, so that once the wedding is over, you can present the mother of the groom and the bride, the grandmother of the groom and the bride, the bridesmaids, any special family member, anybody that you want to recognize in particular on wedding day. Make it so that you can gift those to them instead of just having these big gigantic centerpieces that after the wedding or after the reception is going to be thrown away. Make sure that your florals are recyclable and that you can gift them to people. And that'll add to the wedding experience. And it will also save you from spending all that money for something that's just going to last for a couple hours and then be tossed out.
And then mine is very Gen Z, if hashtags are even a thing by the time I get married. But anyway,
yeah.
If you're having a wedding and people are going to be taking pictures and you want to be able to look at all the pictures, ask people for the pictures that you might not have from your photographer or the phone or the pictures that you took on your phone, make a specific hashtag for your wedding. I've seen people do it here and there, but make a specific hashtag so when people are posting on their stories, posting on Instagram, tweeting, Facebooking, however they use their social media. You can go back at the end of the night or even as late as you want.
Forever. Like the
and be able to look and see what photos you might want to ask for, what things you want to repost. And it just makes it a little bit easier. Yeah. And that way everyone feels like they participated. And because I've seen people do the digital camera or like the disposable camera, but I feel like
that's a little bit,
it's a little bit cumbersome. So
the hashtag is better because it curates all the photos and collects them for you in a certain, way.
Yeah, like I've seen celebrities do it, but I feel like regular people should do it.
And you got to think too, when you're in the act of getting married, a lot of times you miss a lot of what's going on because all of the, attention is on you. You're being pulled, in different directions. Come take a picture, come cut the cake, come do your first dance, all that kind of stuff. If everybody uses a hashtag for the photos, once the wedding is over, honeymoon is over, and you kind of settle in, you can go back and you'll see a lot of stuff that you would have otherwise missed because you were busy being the bride and the groom. So
because you're not going to be able to keep track of
either somewhere on your table, you have little notes on the table, or on your wedding invitations, your reception invitations, ask your guests if you're going to take pictures and post them on social media, use this hashtag so that we can enjoy the pictures, after the wedding.
And with that being said, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Period.